Hi, this is Kathy Fisher with Competition Plus Audio Magazine, and today, Bill Bader, president and co-owner of Summit Motorsports Park. Nice to have you on today, Bill.
Thank you very much, Kathy. How are you?
Just fine. Now, you guys are coming off of another very successful Night Under Fire. It was your 34th annual, but you had something a little interesting, or actually very odd, that happened about 2 miles from the track, and that was a power failure. Now, how did you guys handle that?
Well, I'll tell you what. We learned an awful lot about how to do things better in the future. We had not had a power outage, and of course, it chose our largest single-day event of the year to occur at about 9:01 p.m., right at the apex of our show, unfortunately. So we worked, we scrambled, power was restored, obviously through no efforts of ours. It was all relating to Ohio Edison and a 14,000-volt line that had a failed fuse that needed to be replaced. But from our perspective, we learned that we had some areas we need to improve upon. We've never had a power outage, so things like having generator backup for PA system, backup for various emergency services that we needed. So what we tried to make up for that by going out into the stands, communicating to people in small groups and small sections. We deployed a large group of people and just tried to communicate, let them know what was going on, and that worked okay, but we are a major league entity. Drag racing is a major league sports entertainment property, and we need to do things better in the future, and we certainly will.
Well, and with today's economic outlook, how do you and your staff seem to continue to not only entice but to cater to your customers? And I'm not talking about just the fans. I'm talking about on all sides of your business, from the racers and the sponsors. How do you guys do it?
Well, I think there's a couple things. A, this is our home, and I mean that literally. That's how I view Summit Motorsports Park, 1300 State Route 18, and I think that starts with really our management team, and that translates out to the nearly 430 people that work here during the course of a race season. So, as such, we're inviting people into our home, and that means a different type of experience. These are guests. Think about it. When you're planning a wedding, you don't put together a customer list, you put together a guest list. So because this is a party we're throwing in our home, because these folks are guests, I think there's a different level of treatment. And it just boils down to treating people well. It boils down to giving them a little more than their money's worth. It boils down to simple things like welcome with a smile on your face, a wave and a smile when you say thank you for coming. For us, it's boiled down to treating people well, providing them real value for the dollars they spend, giving them a clean, comfortable facility, and creating an overall experience. And it's important what happens off track, equal to or greater than sometimes what happens on track.
Now, how do you continue to gain young customers and young guests? Because obviously they're going to be the future of our sport when folks like me, we get old.
Well, youth initiatives are important, and we do an awful lot to try to focus on kids, whether it's amenities, whether it's things like user-friendly kids pricing, mascots, food pricing that is fan-friendly for mom, dad, and the kids. A number of just little things. And it's funny, a lot of what we do doesn't involve spending a lot of money. It's just good, basic, common sense type things. And having a facility where people are comfortable bringing their kids, well-lit parking lots, clean bathrooms, just a number of little things that we do, but you have to, first of all, have the mindset, I want kids. I want mom, dad, and the kids to come to this racetrack. It's no secret that there's a older, more graying fan base, and so where does that leave us in 10 or 20 or 30 years? And the future, there are two big initiatives that I'm getting ready to shift into high gear. One are youth initiatives, youth marketing initiatives, and the other one are female fan initiatives, because I unearthed a scary nugget that I'll share with you, and that is that 45, and this is a fact, it's from the U.S. Census Bureau, 45% of the kids in this country are being born to single parents, and presumably women, obviously. So I would say, okay, if I'm a woman and I'm at home with two kids or a single child, the idea of coming to a drag strip may be completely foreign and totally intimidating. So how do we go about introducing female fans and young kids to our sport? And those are some of the things that we're working on right now.
And something else, when you take a look at the schedule that you guys put together each and every year, you have like a huge event, if not two, sometimes every month. How do you keep coming up with all this cool stuff?
Well, we did that through a lot of planning, and there were some events, quite frankly, that the last couple of years that we've weeded out that didn't measure up. But our goal is to have one A event in the market each month. In May, it's the Blaster Cavalcade of Stars. In June, it's the Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Nationals. Historically, in July, it's been the Auto Plus Night Under Fire, but that kind of slid into August this year. So our big event in July was the Wanda Blue Suede Cruise. So we try to have one A event a month by design. I always give an A event a minimum of 3 weeks of spacing, and then we can put in a good, what I would call B event. And what I mean by that is an event that is going to have a strong back gate push, and as well as a front gate. The K&N Halloween Classic, for example, is a back gate driven event. The Tri-Power Pontiac Nationals is a huge back gate that has a pretty strong front gate, not a national event size. So you just have to understand spacing and timing with one A event a month, and then you put in a good solid brand event, a Pontiac event, a Chevy event, a Ford event, a import event, and then you sprinkle in some large bracket races, and you fill in with an amateur night on Wednesday, a test and tune on Friday, a series. Our Mr. Gasket Super Series is a 15-race series, and away you go.
And with so many tracks, unfortunately, we see suffering across the country, it is really good to see what you guys are doing there in Norwalk.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And drag racing, NHRA drag racing, has a tremendous potential and an exceedingly bright future. Kathy, we're in the infancy phase of our product life cycle, so we've got a long way to go, and that's good and that's bad. It's bad because we got our work cut out for us. It's good because we're not sitting here with a mature product saying, "Oh my God, where do we go from here?" Our path is very clear, and we just need to get after it.
And with the Baders leading the way and setting examples, we're glad to have you there. Bill Bader, thank you so much for joining us on Competition Plus Audio Magazine.
Kathy, thank you for the opportunity.